He's going to be speaking to us about Starknet Paymaster, and it's none other than Kazeem Olaniyi, popularly known as Kayzee. A round of applause for him, please.
Hi everyone. Okay, I'm Kazeem Olaniyi. You can call me Kayzee. And I believe by now you should have been you've gotten enough information regarding Starknet, regarding account abstraction. So okay, so I'll be giving a deep dive on Paymaster. Before now, doing the program, and Anton, I guess his name was Anton, was talking about agents, and he was giving illustration regarding account abstraction. Now, within account abstraction, there are two main core principles of account abstraction. We have the part of abstracting the signature. We call this signature abstraction. And the other part is payment abstraction. Often, people talk about the signature abstraction without talking about the payment abstraction. In this deep dive, I'll be giving how the Paymaster abstraction works. Now, before moving forward, I'll give illustration of one thing I personally usually feel it exists before now, even before the account abstraction, before account abstraction come into place. There used to be some situations where you want to swap traders here. I know there are a lot of traders here in these guys. So we usually have some situations where you want to swap two different tokens, maybe like USDT to DAI. And in that situation, you need to have a native token, maybe Ethereum for an instance, in order for the swap to go through, or in order for the transaction to go through. That way, if you don't have ETH, you need to go for it to a centralized exchanges, or any kind of, or meeting your friend to help you out with maybe small ETH for the transaction. But with Paymaster, you can pass through, the transaction can go through without relying on the native Ethereum fee, which means you can swap from USDT to DAI, USDT to USDC, any ERC20 token, or perform any transactions without relying on the ETH native token. That's the idea of Paymaster. You can scan this code to follow up with the material. Then moving forward. Oh, sorry. Am I good to go? Whoa. Okay, this is going to be a short presentation explaining the Paymaster. And this should be like one thing developers should be looking forward, not just only developers, also it's something that should help traders, because right now you should start targeting those wallets. Some wallets are already implementing Paymaster. How many of you know Rabbi Wallet here? Yeah, Rabbi Wallet implemented it, where you can just transact without using gas. That is, what you are transacting will be the gas fee. I guess in any token. They have supported token though. But for developers, especially for Starknet developers, I believe by the end of this presentation, you should be looking for ways to bring up the idea of implementing Starknet Paymaster. As you know, anything you do on Starknet comes with money, isn't it? So, right from the beginning of account abstraction, the initiative of account abstraction standard, there is new interface to how we interact with the blockchain, to how we interact on dApps. This innovative idea has brought up different ways, like has brought us improvements to the way we interact with to the way we interact with our dApps. For an instance now, before account abstraction, there used to be a situation whereby if you want to interact with any dApp, you need to download MetaMask, pass through the phrase and the likes like that. And whenever you want to take in any transaction, for an instance, maybe you are working with Swap, you need to approve first, then after approving, go on with Swap and the likes like that. All those processes are not user friendly. Most of the time, you see a lot of people going away from Web3 because of this issue of account abstraction. And one thing Starknet is really boastful about is that account abstraction. One of the things Starknet is boastful about is that account abstraction. And within it, we can now have dApps that implement social media login with phone number, that implement things like that in order to improve user experience, whereby you interact with the blockchain without even knowing you are interacting with the blockchain. And that's what the main idea is meant to be in the first place. Now, before understanding Starknet Paymaster, we need to understand Paymaster itself. Paymaster is simply an entity. It can be a contract in the case of Ethereum or any other EVM compatible chain or Starknet. Is an entity that can sponsor gas fee for transactions on any supported blockchain. We can imagine it like, okay, let's go on with this illustration. Let's say you and your friends go to a restaurant. I'm trying to explain what the Paymaster is. Let's say you and your friend goes to a restaurant. Traditionally, if you and your friend goes to a restaurant, everybody are meant to pay, isn't it? They are meant to pay for the food they purchase. But you, as a Paymaster, you can just come in to pay for everybody's food. So instead of individual paying for their food, you as a Paymaster will pay for their foods. Then maybe when you get home, depending on the condition, maybe when you get home, they return they return the money and the likes like that. That's just the idea of Paymaster. In that aspect, the restaurant is the blockchain, you are the Paymaster, and your friends are the transactions. So moving forward, I believe that's clear with Paymaster. And now that we've gotten the whole idea of Paymaster, we can this is the interface for implementing the Paymaster. Now that we understand Paymaster, we'll move forward to understanding Starknet Paymaster. Natively, Starknet support account abstraction. I've mentioned that before. And the inspiration of Starknet was taken from ERC 4337, which is the main core standard, not really the main core, but we can put it that way. The main core standard for account abstraction, though there are still proposals for coming abstraction like ERC 3702, I guess, and some that they are planning on. So for the Starknet accounts, since Starknet supports it natively, there is little differences to how ERC 4337 account abstraction is being implemented compared to Starknet abstraction. Starknet abstraction implements its own abstraction natively, that is at the protocol level. And unlike ERC 4337, where we have the bundler, the entry point, and the likes like that, Starknet use sequencer to trigger verification and execution, determine transactions order, and the likes like that. That's for Starknet Paymaster. Now, that will help us understand the transaction flow in Starknet. Understanding the transaction flow in Starknet will help us further understand how to implement Paymaster on Starknet, or how Paymaster on Starknet works. There are 4 phases of transactions in Starknet. We have the verification state phase, the payment phase, the execution phase, and the post-operation phase. In the verification phase, a user sends transactions to the sequencer, where the sequencer receives the transaction, verify the nod's validity, and if the transaction is truly authorized by the account owner by invoking the validate function. Now, this particular verification phase is triggered by the sequencer. The triggering of verification and execution is triggered by the sequencer. After this verification phase, then the sequencer will request a fee or will charge a fee from the account contract. That way, Starknet is able to implement some static token as gas fee. Currently, they are supporting ETH and STRK token as the gas fee. But looking at it, there is a look of static, or there's no flexibility in it, and that brought the idea of customized paymaster. Because this way, there's a little bit of drawbacks of Starknet Paymaster, that is, there is limited token option. Though, even though there are plans on adding additional support for fees like ETH, STRK tokens, and the likes, there's still kind of static in, or how am I going to put it? Yeah, there's still kind of, there's no flexibility in Paymaster as we have it for some dApps on Polygon, where you have this flexibility of paymasters having this. There are some paymasters that implement it such a way that whenever users just come in to interact within the dApps or to interact within the chain, they pay for everything. They pay for your transaction, so users can come into the dApp and transact freely. So this is kind of limiting Starknet in that pattern, and that brought to the idea of bringing up a form of paymaster Avenue implemented. Avenue is an exchange on Starknet, and they implemented a paymaster, a kind of paymaster that will help this, that will improve the flexibility of paymaster. Avenue followed the meta transaction approach, where users delegate execution of their transaction to Avenue relayer. Avenue relayer is just like a centralized relayer. We can put it as what developers mostly usually use before the idea of ERC 4337. Even before the idea of ERC 4337, there's always been centralized relayer where users send transactions to these relayers and the relayers perform the transaction on their behalf. That does not mean anybody still have access to your private key. All you just have to do is you sign your transaction, send it to the relayer, then the relayer executes it on your behalf. That's exactly how Avenue Paymaster is being operated, and they are also looking forward to make it open source in the nearest future. And for the developers in the house, this is a thing to check up on. This is a thing to look forward to, as this initiative can mark the beginning of a broader mission to integrate gasless functionality across the Starknet ecosystem. And for the traders also, you can also follow up and check up on dApps that implement it, and don't make it seem like those that implement it is the kind of have access to your account, because that way it may seem that way that if I'm signing in with my Google or my socials account, does that mean they can censor my transaction? Does that mean they can have access to my signature and the likes? It is not like that. So this is just like creating awareness to traders and urging developers to explore this part of innovation. If you want to connect with me, that's my barcode. You can scan it to get my business card. And on Twitter, I'm Kayzee, Telegram, Kayzee. Thank you.